Welcome to R2-3D, my name is Alan, and after a somewhat prolonged break, I'm back in 2026 with an all-new venue, an all-new printer, and new projects. The subject of this week's video is actually a collaboration with the Patreon of Trick or Treat, who offered me the model of my choice in return for the making of this video. The model that I chose was this marvellous sculpture of Maleficent, and when Elegoo reached out to me to offer their use of resins and putty, I was only too glad to accept. So thank you so much to both for the help in the making of this video. I'll leave a link in the description of this video for Trick or Treat's Patreon page. I highly recommend that you check them out, they do some fantastic work. The ABS Tough Light resin and transparent green I used for this model were great once I got the settings from my new Uniformation GK3 printer set. Here you can see I supported the legs of the sculpt using only the surfaces that would be hidden from view when it's finished, so there were no pit marks left to sand and prep for painting. I supported the back of her dress only on the inside surface so that no pit marks would mark the outer, more visible surface. I decided to replace the resin model for the staff with a hollow brass cylinder, as I wanted to run a wire up to an LED to light up the globe at the top. I inserted holes 0.1mm larger than the magnets I use in lychee slicer. This makes for a tight fit. With all the prep work now done, I set about applying a black primer from Vallejo to all the parts, except the transparent parts of course. This gives the paint that will go on top something to adhere to and also provides a basis for the Zenithal highlight to come next. I began by highlighting the base part with a dry brush of Vallejo's grey-green, which is actually a fairly light greyish-green shade. I then picked out the brighter edges with deck tan, also by Vallejo, to bring out more definition to the detailing of the sculpt. Next, I picked out the primary colour for the vines on the base with Vallejo's Splinter Green. At this point, I'm just filling in the body of the vines, the shade and the highlight will follow. The first of the highlights is with a Vallejo Green Sky. I apply this to the parts where the light would hit most. I gave the whole thing another highlight tone with the help of Army Painter's Brigade Grey, and then gave the vines a shadow pass with Citadel Colia green shade. I then gave the base a bit of a colour variation with a gentle application of Vallejo's Hull Red, before dry brushing it a bit more with some light grey again to bring back the highlights. For the LEDs used in the flames, I drilled holes along the underside of each flame and then pieced green LED lights along the length of each flame. I secured them in place with the same liquid resin I used to form them, curing each section with a UV pen. The wires were then routed back through the base where they connected with the power source. I cast the transparent flames that go around the base in Elegoo's transparent green resin, and then gave the outside a gentle spray with Citadel's Tesseract Glow Green, which is a lovely, bright, thin technical paint, which will help diffuse the light from the green LEDs that will be inside the flames. I then added some shadowy areas to the flames with Citadel's Griff Charger Grey and Coelia Green shade. This will help hide the copper wires that run on the outside under the flames. And I finish off the base painting with dry brushing of grey-green and deck tan, just to bring out some of the lost highlighting due to the airbrushing of the shades onto the base. I then gave the flames a good going over with Vallejo Gloss Varnish to bring back some lustre to the flames when they aren't lit up. For the globe at the end of our staff, I painted the solid looking parts with Army Painter's Rough Iron, which is a sort of dark metallic bronze. I gave this a couple of coats to help hide the LED inside. For the actual body of the sculpt, I sprayed Vallejo white from a high angle to give a Zenithal highlight to help the light and shadow areas for the skin tones. For the face, I only sprayed from above to give her a nice shadow from below, as this will help sell the lighting effect from the LEDs later. One bit I forgot to do until I had already wired the staff LED in place was to give the brass cylinder a going over with Army Painter's Rough Iron. Here I am desperately trying not to mask anything off to get it done. For the skin tones for Maleficent, I decided to go against the directions in the renders and go with a pale green skin tone as per the cartoon version, which I thought looked way cooler than the greyish skin tones. I started with Splinter Green for the base over the Zenithal. And then I added the first highlight of Vallejo's green sky over the top, applying it from a downward direction to mimic the light hitting her skin and defining the legs that way. I then further picked out the highlights on her skin by adding some white to the green sky to produce a much brighter tone of the same colour. And then for the green equivalent of Orcish Dermis, I used Citadel's Coelia green shade to add depth to the shadowy areas. I applied the Splinter Green in the same manner as before, but this time to her hands and face. I then followed that up with the first highlight of the green sky as before, again applied from above to cast light onto the figure. And for the brighter skin tone, I added white to the green sky and highlighted only the very brightest parts of her skin. And I finished off with the Coelia green shade for the shadowy areas of her cheeks, chin, eye areas, as well as the dark parts of her hands. For her body, I followed the same routine as for her head and hands and started with a thin layer of Splinter Green as a base skin layer. I made sure to get it in all the areas of her body as there are a few undercut areas. I also went back and added in a thin application of Splinter Green to her face in the shadowy areas. It looked a bit pale and I really wanted it to be a bit more colourful. I used the green sky to highlight her body and lit it from above, and then went over the same areas with a mix of green sky and white to add more light. A thin layer of Coelia green shade was next for the shadowy areas, and I finished off her skin tones with a thin application of pure white to emphasize the lighting effects. I used a thin layer of Army Painter's deep grey sprayed from above to highlight the back of her dress and to add some, but not a huge amount, of smooth detailing to it. Next it was on to blocking out the black areas that were oversprayed with the skin tones to bring back the colour of her outfit. This was done with a simple paintbrushing of Vallejo black. I used the same black to paint her shoes, but for this part I chose to go over them with a Vallejo Satin varnish to give them a different finish from her dress. For her lip colour, I went with a Citadel Flesh Tearers Red for her lipstick colour, as it contrasts well with her green face. The model has some really nice sculpting to it here to fill in with the lip shape. For her eyebrows and eyes, I used Vallejo black and a couple of my best detailing brushes to get the necessary thin hairlines and to paint her eyelashes and the background for the sclera area. I use Army Painter's Brain Matter Beige for her eye white colour, as it isn't as severe as pure white. It looks more natural than a pure white tone will, and makes her not look as starey and odd. For her eye colour, I gave her a base colour of Vallejo Continental Blue, which is a very deep dark blue. I worked on this from the iris shape and developed it out from a central point. For the central part of the iris, I gave her a much lighter combination of Splinter Green and Bright Green, both by Vallejo. I was looking to leave the thin blue outer ring around this. I then used black to dab in the pupil in each eye and tidy up any slight overpainting by other colours around her eye shape. A little spot highlight of pure white in her eyes and a touch of a black, and her eyes are done, bar the gloss varnish finish. For the lip highlight, I used Vallejo's Bloody Red. This is a great covering paint, and applied in thin lines, it provides a suitable highlight to her dark red lips. The finishing touch to her face is an application of gloss varnish to her eyes and lips, just to make them look a bit more realistic. The inside colour of her dress outfit is a beautiful deep purple combination of Vallejo Black Violet and Squid Pink. This was achieved in a couple of passes to give it a rich, fuller look. I gave her dress a thin application of satin varnish to help protect the finish from fingerprints and wear, but also to give it a better dress type material finish. It also provides a good basis for the dry brush highlights to go over the top of the dress material, giving it a better dry brush effect. I used Army Painter's Deep Grey for this and gave it multiple passes to build up the detailing on various parts of her outfit, as I thought it needed it. If one area needs to get a third or a fourth pass, it gets it, whereas other areas might only need one or two. I'm just looking to pick out seam edges and stitch marks to bring out detailing on her outfit, and crease lines and folds in the material to help bring it to life. It's very much a suck it and see approach, and you just have to judge it by yourself how far you want to go with it. The only bit that remains now is the jewellery on her dress. I painted the metal chain with gunmetal by Vallejo and edge painted it to highlight only the raised parts of the chain, whilst leaving the shadowy areas as the base black to add contrast and to help it look more realistic. amulet on her chain, I really wanted it to glow bright green, so I gave it a base of pure white first and let it dry before going over it with a few layers of Citadel's Hexwraith Flame Green contrast paint. The very last part to do is the painted fingernails, and for that I used Flesh Tearer's Red and gave them a dab of gloss varnish once it was dried. And with that, it's done. I'd like to thank everyone who watches my videos and comments in the commenty bits. I love and truly appreciate every interaction with my projects, and I'm always trying to answer any questions. Thanks very much to Ricardo at Trick or Treat and to Eligoo for helping out with this video, and if you like what you see, please consider subscribing and liking it so that others may see it too. And with that, this has been R2-3D, and I'll see you in the next one.